Hey everybody, wow, what a month, eh? We've just been through that very intense eclipse energy and then an equinox on the back of that, and now we're into a full moon in Aries. So one of the things that is really important to do as we're moving forward, because there is no slowing down, this is going to be happening like this for the next few years as the old crumbles away and the new starts to build. So it is very important to stop and pause and reflect. If we keep going, we will just continuously feel our adrenaline heightened, we will be continually stressed and not giving our bodies a chance to catch up with the times that we're living in now. There's so much going on out there in the world, and it's a reflection in our own lives too, because even after that intense eclipse season, even though we have two every single year that last for 2 weeks at a time, this one was particularly strong, and that is because of the planet lineups. That is because we are at this most precarious cusp in history where the timelines are splitting. People are either choosing to live one way or wanting to ascend into another way. There's no right or wrong, but it is dividing people. It is causing a lot of havoc. And so, like I said, it is very important to stop, reflect on your last month, see how far you have come. I will guarantee that every single person has changed in some small way, shifted their view, their points of view, their perspective in the last few months, weeks, or even the last year or so. And then it's also to really remind you how far you've come, to just stop and allow all of this energy and whatnot going on out there, to process it. So that's why now I'm going to talk just a little bit about grief. Again, every single person has experienced grief in one way, shape or form. Now, we've just lost a very dear friend, and there's three people, three males in my life that all have cancer. Two have now passed. There is one to go, and that sounds, terrible for me to say it that way, but all of us are experiencing many losses and people leaving this planet. So it is very important to acknowledge this grief. Now, I am so not ready to let go of this and just go, oh, well, it's, I can work through this. I've got all my tools. I know what to do. Yes, I do. And I'm very blessed. However, some people don't. They don't know what to do with their grief, or it's too fresh to actually even think about doing anything. So the best thing you can do, of course, is to give yourself that space and that time. There is no right way or wrong way. It is your process. So long as you are processing and you're not burying it deep down to forget it, because I'll guarantee you it will come back. So that's how I'm going to go into how there's so many different types of grief. So one, of course, is the immediate loss, when it is a tragedy and it happens really fast and it changes the course of our life and our outlook forever. This can be so overwhelming. And so it is very important to be very gentle. I've written a list of things that we can do with grief as we go through, but there is also many other types of grieving as well. We can be grieving the world that we've been living in. A lot of us talk about, oh, the good old days. Remember when we didn't have the internet, or remember we'll be, in the future going, we never had AI and now look at it. And, the whole world is significantly and fastly changing. So this can be a grief in itself. So there's community grief. Community grief when there's been a war or a disaster, a weather disaster, and the community all feels it as one. or there's a collective grief, again, that can be about the worldly things going on, you know, like a very important figure dying or something, you know, like that. So again, it's all grief bubbling in our hearts, and if we don't clear this or heal this or integrate the grief in our hearts, then you're not allowing yourself the space to bring in peace and joy once again. Grief is about it's a loss of love. It's another form of love, and when we're ready, it is really important to do some processes to get ourselves through this so that we can function, that we're not emotionally numb, that we haven't stuffed it way down, because there's another type of grief, and this is multiple grief, and that's when we've had a loss in the past and we've put it in the past, and then maybe another event or a loss will trigger the old grief, and then it is really, really extra hard to work through because you're so confused about all this different types of grieving, and it mixes it and melds it into a big melding pot, which is really can be very difficult to get through. There's also spiritual grief, you know, when you've realized, not all of course, but you've realized that your life will never be the same, and that you question your beliefs and your purpose for being here. There's also that unspoken grief, when we have lost a pet or a miscarriage or something that we hold silently in our heart because you know others won't get you or understand you. And then there's delayed grief, and that's when we really do shove it down, and not allowing ourselves to process it, because you know, some people actually feel that if they start to laugh again or they feel joy again, that they actually shouldn't be, that they shouldn't be in this place of happiness because somebody, you know, you've lost someone in your life. But if you look at it this way, grief is love with nowhere to go until you learn to give that love new expression. You don't overcome it by leaving it behind, but by carrying it differently. So if we could keep that in our hearts, that grief is love and we're learning to carry it differently. When we experience joy or happiness or peace, this is okay. It means we're integrating the love, integrating the grief into a different form of love. And so I've written a list of things, and of course there's other types of grief too if I haven't covered these off. But the first and foremost is to acknowledge the grief. Really sit with it, acknowledge it, and allow it. Now, you might be somebody who is full of responsibility. You've got other family members. You cannot fathom taking the time out for yourself, but it is so, so important too. And again, with the worldly things, you know, acknowledging what's going on in the world, pausing and stopping and recognizing that the world is never going to be the same again because of, you know, whatever grief you are experiencing out there in the world. So, of course, it's very important to lean on someone. We find it so hard to receive. I had this conversation the other day, and it wasn't really around grief, but in a sense it was. And it's like you've got to allow other people in to help you. You have to just take a breath, pause, and think, yes, that would be really good if somebody could help me through that. Or, you know, they might just go for a walk with you or watch a movie together, or whatever it is, really important that you lean on someone. For you, if it's not someone that you feel that you can do in your family or someone close, there are different types of therapies that you can do. It is, you know, like coaches or grieving counselors, or even a massage therapist. You know, releasing it out of your body is just so really good for you. Then, of course, there are rituals. When you feel ready, it's really good to journal it all out. Make sure you're doing it once a week or even once a day, even better. Allow your feelings and emotions to come out on paper. You might like to burn it if you don't feel safe having that paper around you, but at least you're getting it out of your psyche. Light a candle, have a little wee altar for this person, celebrate the memories, the anniversaries that you've spent together. You may like to meditate or go for a walk in nature. All of these things are very, very healing, and it does not mean that you are leaving that loss behind. It's a form of integrating where it gets easier and easier as time goes by. Caring for your body, once again, the massage thing, if this is something that you do enjoy, or a swim in the ocean, nourishing food, breath work, meditations, cacao ceremony. Cacao is so beautiful for the heart. It is a heart opener, and it will help you release. It will help you so many levels within your heart and your physical level as well. It can lower blood pressure. It can do all sorts of beautiful things. And just on that note, that I wasn't even going to mention this, if you did feel like you did want to try a cacao ceremony but you didn't know where to start, you can reach out to me. I do one-on-one cacao ceremonies or small groups, whatever it is that you would like, even if it is around a grieving ceremony or a celebration of some sort, to open your heart, to open and learn to receive. I could help you there too, if that was just something that you were thinking about. Finding meaning in the loss. So again, if it's the worldly stuff, we always gain wisdom from a loss. If it is somebody close, we gain wisdom. We can transform it into wisdom and empathy for us, others, and we may be able to help someone else who is going through grief. It's like a renewed purpose, finding that it wasn't, the loss wasn't in vain, that it was something that you can be inspired by or aspire to for the situation or person that you have lost. So allow joy to return. Like I said before, it's a hard one because you can feel guilty for even fathoming the thought of joy in your life when others around you, or you were still going through that process of grieving. So the healing that you're doing, it does not mean forgetting. It means making a space for where sorrow and joy can coexist together. When laughter or peace arises, it means you are continuing love. You haven't lost love. You are continuing it. So once again, through this month of the Aries full moon, to really remember, Aries is about being bold, being courageous. Aries is the first house off the mark, so to speak. So they can be, ripped through with new energy, vitality. So when we heal our heart, then we make space for other love to come in, whether it's another person or an experience or a purpose or whatever it is. We need to release all of the heartaches that have built up in our heart. And also a loss can be an ex-partner or a friendship. These are all relevant losses as well. So it's very, very important to recognize these. Like I was saying, Aries is about new beginnings. It's the first zodiac. However, how can we have new beginnings or sow new seeds when we're holding on to the past? We're holding on to the loss in our hearts. Now, September is gone. That was a 9. The cycle of 9s are about endings. 2025 adds up to a 9, which means this year is a whole year of loss. This year is about endings. You may have noticed over the last few weeks or months when you're reflecting about the doors that have closed for you this year or are coming up into your consciousness to recognize that you need to close doors, finish relationships, finish off what you're doing. If you're not enjoying your job, then it's to reevaluate where you would find happiness in your heart. And so, yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I hope this has been of some help to you. And of course, my newsletter with the full moon, that doesn't have to be done on the actual full moon. A few days before, a few days after, even going into the whole next phase into the new moon, because this meditation is about releasing grief. So if you do need something that will help you, my full moon meditation, you can find it. I'll be doing a post on my Facebook and Instagram platform, or you can find me on Insight Timer, or if you're getting this newsletter, the full moon meditation is right here. If you want to be on my newsletter, I only send out one once a month. Please make contact with me, and I can easily put your email details onto that list, and you receive a blog, you receive what I'm up to, bits and pieces of helpful hints, and the full moon meditation. So, my friends, I hope this has been of some help to you. Much love under this full moon, Aries full moon. Go easy on yourself. Learn to integrate the energies as they come in. Try not to make, build up the stress levels. Then you actually explode into anger or, like whatever it is for you. It is time to change. It is time to change our old ways and find new ways as we step forward together. It is very, very exciting where we are headed. Not to look at all the grief, the doom and the gloom that's going on out there, but to turn it inwards and know that you do have control over your emotions. You can't control anything else out there, but you can do something about your own stuff. It is vital now. It is absolutely 100% vital that we do look at ourselves, we do integrate some of this grief, this old stuff. We find forgiveness for ourselves and others, find wisdom and empathy as we all move together in this crazy old world. Alrighty, much love.